Jerry, what I want to know is this efficiency or is this true disruption that we're about to see in construction?
I think it's a little bit of both. So if you look at construction labor over the past 10, 20 years, they actually lag labor productivity stats versus every other vertical. So construction labor has not been increasing productivity the past few years. So for sure, that's efficiency. Just get more productivity out of your sales force. But number two, we're seeing construction companies use technology like drones to measure progress, GPS to drive tractors. So they're actually using, pretty disruptive technologies to build buildings, bridges, roads faster and better.
I mean, it's quite amazing. I think this week alone we saw the first 3D printed building in less than 24 hours. I'm not sure everyone would want to live in it, but it's a step forward. Which of these types that you mentioned drones and GPS, is there any element that you think really will be the area that booms the first, that we all focus on?
Well, one company that we're involved with is called Runbix. It's focused on labor productivity. And Runbix actually attacks the #1 cost driver in every major construction site, labor, right? You have 1,000 people on a labor site doing a mine, a building, a bridge, and quite frankly, that productivity hasn't improved. So I think labor productivity may not be the first, but it's probably going to be the largest area of improvements in ROI for these construction companies.
There's our 3D printing building just going on right in front of our eyes. But so Runbix is one of them, their improvement. What about some of the other areas of the portfolio companies that you have? You sort of separate it quite nicely into compute, storage, and networking. These are the sort of areas that are going to come into construction. Sure. How does compute come into infrastructure?
If you think about infrastructure like construction, 3D buildings, and you think about the other area of infrastructure needed for this economy, digital infrastructure, right? The formerly so-called information superhighway. I think investment in cloud infrastructure, telco infrastructure, networking infrastructure is super important too, because every modern business is built not on your 3D buildings, but on bits and bytes. So we're investing aggressively on next-gen infrastructure for the physical world and for the virtual world as well.
What is the sort of opportunity from, say, a $1 trillion investment, however that might come from Donald Trump? Is this really the time? Was that the catalyst that got you super excited about these areas, or was this a long-term bet that you've been looking at already?
It's been a long-term bet because we're looking at different verticals from mining, healthcare, fintech, construction. And like you said, construction has lagged IT spending. But I was talking to a construction executive a few months ago, actually a few years ago, and he said the first thing that goes into every construction site now is Wi-Fi. And you think about that. Before they plow the first soil, lay the first brick or first drop of cement, they put in Wi-Fi. Because everyone needs email, everyone needs internet, everyone needs Snapchat or something. Wi-Fi is the first thing that goes in. And that got me thinking, once everyone has a cell phone, a smartphone, a tablet, and once Wi-Fi is everywhere, what can you do?
Runbix, which you already mentioned, one of your portfolio companies, this isn't just a US issue, though. This is an international issue.
Correct.
And we're seeing infrastructure spend, whether that's happening in the United Kingdom as well, across Europe. How global are these portfolio companies that you're looking at?
So Runbix is actually selling companies in South America, Asia, Europe, and the US. So like you said, it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry across the globe, not just the US. And I think most of the companies we invest in, because they're startups, start locally around California, around the United States. But with construction, since there's these handful of large general contractors, like a Bechtel or a Skanska, that basically take the technology globally. So Bechtel can start a building here in Nevada or take it to the Middle East or Asia, and they'll bring their technology, their best practices across the globe.